Jake stood on the porch of his small cabin, staring out at the endless blanket of white covering the landscape. The snowstorm had come out of nowhere, leaving a thick layer of snow on the ground and making everything seem still and quiet. As he watched the snowflakes fall, he couldn't help but feel a deep sense of loneliness settle over him. It had been 6 months since Ma moved away. They had been best friends for years, sharing everything from secrets to dreams. But when her family relocated to another state for her dad's job, it felt like a piece of Jake's heart had gone with her. They promised to keep in touch, but as time passed, their messages became less frequent. Jake often found himself staring at his phone, hoping for a text that never came. With a heavy sigh, he turned away from the view and went inside. The warm glow of the fireplace was comforting, but it couldn't fill the emptiness he felt inside. He picked up his phone again, scrolling through their old messages. Each text was a reminder of the laughter and joy they shared, but now it just made him feel sadder. He missed her voice, her smile, and the way they could talk for hours about anything and everything. Jake thought about the last time they had spoken. They had made plans for her to visit during the holidays, but those plans fell through as the days grew closer. Mia had sounded so excited about the move at first, but now he wondered if she was still happy. He wanted to reach out to let her know he was thinking of her, but he didn't know what to say. What if she had moved on? What if their friendship was slipping away like the snow outside? Feeling restless, he decided to take a walk. The cold air hit him as he stepped outside, and he wrapped his jacket tightly around him. Each step in the snow crunched beneath his boots, the only sound breaking the silence of the winter day. As he walked, he thought about all the adventures. They had shared camping trips, late-night talks, and even silly arguments that always ended in laughter. Those memories felt like a warm blanket against the chill of loneliness. He wandered deeper into the woods, letting the peacefulness of his surroundings calm his thoughts. The trees stood tall and silent, their branches heavy with snow. Suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, he noticed something unusual. A flash of color against the white backdrop caught his attention. Curious, he moved closer to investigate. What he found took his breath away. 2 figures were huddled together beneath a tree, their vibrant skins shimmering in shades of blue and green. They looked fragile, almost like they didn't belong in this world. Jake realized they were alien sisters, and they seemed to be freezing in the snow. His heart raced as he approached them, his instinct to help kicking in. "Hey, are you okay?" he called out, concerned. The sisters looked up, their eyes wide with surprise and fear. One of them, the one with bright green skin, shivered and held her sister close. "We're lost," she said, her voice trembling. "We need to find shelter." Without thinking, Jake acted. "Come with me. I have a cabin nearby. You'll be safe there." He reached out a hand, and after a moment of hesitation, they took it. Following him through the snow inside the cabin, Jake quickly set to work. He built a fire, the flames crackling to life and filling the room with warmth. The sisters looked around, their eyes filled with wonder as they took in their surroundings. Jake offered them blankets and food, grateful to be able to help Dot as they settled in by the fire. He learned their names, Lyra and Syrah. They told him they had come from a distant planet, exploring Earth and its wonders, but a sudden storm had left them stranded. Jake listened, fascinated by their stories of colorful landscapes and strange creatures. The more they talked, the more connected he felt to them. Suddenly, he realized that this encounter was changing him. Just as he had felt distant from Mia, he was now forging a deep connection with these sisters. They were different, yet somehow similar to him. They shared laughter and stories, and for the first time in a long while, Jake felt hope blooming in his heart. As the night wore on, they played games, shared more about their lives, and Jake even taught them some Earth traditions. He found joy in their laughter, and it reminded him of the fun he used to have with Mia. In that moment, he realized that he could reconnect with her too. If he could reach out to these sisters from another world, then surely he could reach out to his best friend. "Can I show you something?" Jake asked Lyra and Sierra, suddenly excited. He pulled out his phone and started scrolling through pictures of his adventures with Mia, camping trips, laughter-filled moments, and the places they had explored together. "Wow!" Lyra exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. "You have a beautiful world," Sierra smiled, "and such wonderful memories. You should reach out to your friend. She would love to see these." Jake felt a surge of determination. He understood now that friendships needed nurturing, just like the fire they sat around. He could send Mia a message, share his experiences, and let her know he missed her. The thought filled him with warmth. As dawn broke, casting a golden light over the snow, Jake turned to the sisters. "Thank you for coming into my life. You've reminded me of what's important: connection and friendship." Lyra and Sierra smiled back at him, their expressions filled with gratitude. "You have a kind heart, Jake," Lyra said. "We will always remember you." With newfound hope and determination, Jake promised to keep in touch with Mia and to foster the bonds that mattered most. As the sisters prepared to leave in their spacecraft, Jake realized that he didn't have to feel distant anymore. He had the power to reach out, to reconnect, and to build bridges across the universe, whether with aliens or friends. As the spacecraft lifted off, Jake waved goodbye, feeling a sense of peace wash over him. He knew that he would never forget this experience, and it had sparked a fire within him, a fire of hope, friendship, and the courage to reach out. With a smile, he whispered to the wind, "I'll find a way to reconnect." And for the first time in months, he felt truly optimistic about the future. Jake stood in his cabin, watching the spaceship of Lyra and Sierra disappear into the sky. The memories of their time together swirled in his mind like the snowflakes. Outside, they had filled his heart with warmth and laughter, teaching him that connections could form in the most unexpected ways. But now, as the last glimmer of their ship faded, a familiar sense of loneliness settled back into his chest. He missed Mia even more now. The sisters had reminded him of the importance of reaching out, yet he felt a weight in his stomach. How could he reconnect with Mia when she was so far away? What if she didn't want to talk anymore? Doubts crept in, but Jake pushed them aside. He remembered the joy he felt when he was with Lyra and Sierra, and he knew he needed to try. Breath. Jake picked up his phone and stared at the screen. He hesitated, his fingers hovering over the keyboard. What would he say? "Hey, I miss you?" That felt too simple. But as he thought about their memories, he felt the urge to express how much she meant to him. Finally, he typed out a message. "Hey, Mia, it's Jake. I know it's been a while since we talked, but I've been thinking about you a lot lately. I miss our adventures and just hanging out. I hope you're doing well. Would love to catch up." After hitting send, Jake felt a mix of hope and anxiety. He put the phone down and went outside to clear his mind. The snow was still fresh, and he decided to take a walk. The world was beautiful, sparkling under the morning sun, but he couldn't shake the feeling of emptiness inside. As he walked, he replayed the moments he had shared with Mia. They had built forts in the snow, explored the woods, and stayed up late talking about their dreams. Those memories were treasures, but now they felt far away, like the sisters' spaceship soaring into the unknown. After a while, he returned to the cabin, his heart heavy with longing. He sat by the fire, staring into the flames, hoping for a sign that Mia would respond. Time seemed to crawl as he waited. He thought about the sisters and how they had found each other in a time of need. Maybe he could find that same connection with Mia again. Just then, His phone buzzed. Jake jumped, his heart racing. He quickly grabbed it and saw Mia's name on the screen. He opened the message. "Hey, Jake. I'm so glad to hear from you. I miss you too. Things have been really busy here, but I'd love to catch up. How about a video call this weekend?" A wave of relief washed over him, and he felt a smile spread across his face. They were still connected, even if the distance was great. He quickly replied, agreeing to the call and suggesting a time. As he typed, he felt a spark of excitement. This was his chance to revive their friendship. The days passed slowly, but with each day, Jake felt a growing sense of anticipation. He prepared for the call like it was an important event. He cleaned up his cabin, made sure the fire was warm, and even brewed some hot chocolate, remembering how much Mia loved it. Finally, the day arrived. Jake sat in front of his laptop, a mix of nerves and excitements swirling in his stomach. He checked the time repeatedly, his heart racing as he waited for the call to connect. When the screen lit up with Mia's face, all his worries melted away. "Jake!" she exclaimed, her smile brightening the screen. "It's so good to see you." "You too, Mia," he replied, grinning from ear to ear. "How have you been?" They started talking, and it felt like no time had passed at all. Mia shared stories about her new school, her friends, and how she was adjusting to life in a new city. Jake listened intently, feeling the warmth of their. After his video call with Mia, Jake felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders. He sat in front of the fire, the flames dancing in the hearth, warming the room and his heart. Yet, as the excitement of reconnecting faded, a new wave of sadness washed over him. He realized that while they had talked and shared memories, there was still a distance between them that words alone couldn't bridge. Jake thought about how Mia had moved away. Their lives were now separate, filled with different routines and friends. He wanted to be part of her new life, to experience it with her like they used to. But how could he do that from so far away? The thought made him feel uneasy. He picked up his phone and looked at the screen, hoping for another message from Mia. He missed her so much. Her laugh, her energy, her ability to make any situation fun. They had always been a team, tackling challenges together, whether it was building snow forts or preparing for school exams. Now, he felt like they were on opposite sides of a vast ocean, and he didn't know how to swim back to her. As he sat in silence, an idea sparked in his mind. Maybe he could do something special to show Mia that he cared, something that would help them feel closer, even if they were miles apart. He remembered how excited she had been about their plans to explore the world together. What if he planned a surprise for her? Something that would remind her of their adventures and the bond they shared. Jake jumped up from his chair, energized by the thought. He grabbed a notebook and started jotting down ideas. He could create a scrapbook filled with their memories, complete with photos, notes, and little reminders of their time together. It would be a tangible way to show Mia that he was still thinking of her, no matter how far away she was. He spent the next few days collecting photos and mementos. He found pictures from their camping trips, snapshots of their laughter-filled moments, and even ticket stubs from movies they had seen together. Each item brought back a flood of memories, and as he worked on the scrapbook, he felt a renewed sense of hope. This project would be a way to reconnect with Mia, to remind her that their friendship was still strong. On the day he finished the scrapbook, Jake carefully wrapped it in bright paper and sealed it with a ribbon. He felt nervous but excited as he prepared to send it to Mia. He wrote her a letter to go along with it, explaining how much she meant to him and how he wanted to keep their friendship alive. He poured his heart into the letter, expressing his feelings and hopes for the future. After sealing the package, he took it to the post office. As he handed it to the clerk, Jake felt a mix of anticipation and anxiety. Would Mia love the scrapbook? Would it help her feel closer to him? He could only wait and see. Days turned into a week, and Jake found himself checking his phone several times a day, hoping for a message from Mia. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he received a notification. His heart raced as he opened. It's seeing Mia's name on the screen. Jake, I got your package. I can't believe you made me a scrapbook. It's amazing. I love all the memories we shared. Thank you so much. Jake grinned from ear to ear. He read the message over and over again, feeling a surge of happiness. He quickly replied, asking if she liked the photos and if they could plan another video call soon. He wanted to hear her voice and see her smile again. That weekend, they set up another video call. When Mia's face appeared on the screen, Jake felt a warmth spread through him. Hey, Jake, it's so good to see you again, she said, her smile brightening the room. Hi, Mia. I'm so glad you liked the scrapbook. I had so much fun putting it together, he replied, his heart swelling with joy. I can't believe how many memories we have. It made me realize how much I miss you and our adventures. I want to plan a new adventure together, even if it has to be virtual, she said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Jake felt a rush of hope. That sounds amazing. We could do a virtual camping trip. I can set up a tent in my backyard, and we can roast marshmallows over a fire while we talk, he suggested. Mia laughed, her voice full of joy. Yes, I can set up a picnic in my living room, and we can pretend we're under the stars. Let's make it a date. As they talked about their plans, Jake realized that even though they were physically apart, their friendship was stronger than ever. They could still create new memories, share experiences, and support each other, no matter the distance. After their call, Jake felt inspired. He thought about how he could keep the momentum going. He decided to start a new project, an online journal where they could document their adventures, even from afar. He created a shared document that they could both edit, adding photos, thoughts, and stories whenever they wanted. He sent Mia the link, and she was thrilled. This is such a great idea, Jake. We can keep our adventures alive, no matter how far apart we are. As the days passed, Jake and Mia filled the journal with their thoughts and experiences. They shared their daily lives, their dreams, and even their struggles. It felt good to be connected again, and it reminded Jake that distance didn't have to mean disconnection. With each new entry, Jake felt a sense of hope and joy. He realized that their friendship had evolved, growing into something even more meaningful. Just like his experience with Lyra and Syrah, he understood that connections could be nurtured through effort, creativity, and love. One evening, as he sat by the fire, Jake reflected on how far he had come. He had taken steps to reconnect with Mia, and it had brought them closer than he ever thought possible. He felt grateful for the lessons learned from the alien sisters and the courage they had inspired in him. As he looked up at the stars shining brightly in the night sky, he whispered to the universe, "Thank you for reminding me of the importance of connection. I'll always cherish my friendships, no matter where they are in the world." With newfound hope and determination, Jake smiled, ready for whatever adventures lay ahead, knowing that he could bridge any distance with love and friendship. After weeks of reconnecting with Mia through their online journal, Jake felt a sense of joy he hadn't experienced in a long time. Their friendship was stronger than ever, bridging the distance that had once felt so immense. Yet even with their regular updates and video calls, Jake sometimes felt a lingering sadness. He missed the simple things, the spontaneous laughter, the shared adventures, and the warmth of her presence. One chilly evening, as he sat by the fire in his cabin, he flipped through the scrapbook he had made for Mia. Each page was filled with memories, reminding him of their fun times together. But as he turned the pages, he realized he longed for something more. He wanted to create new memories with her, not just reminisce about the past. He thought about their previous conversations and their plans for a virtual camping trip. Idea excited him, but he felt it needed something special. He wanted to make it an unforgettable experience, a way to show Mia how much she meant to him. But how could he make a virtual camping trip feel real? Suddenly, an idea sparked in his mind. He remembered how the sisters Lyra and Sierra had used their abilities to create beautiful light shows in the night sky. Jake wondered if he could replicate something similar for his virtual camping experience. He could create a fun atmosphere that would remind Mia of their adventures together. Jake jumped up and began planning. He decided to make his backyard into a magical camping spot. He gathered fairy lights, colorful blankets, and even set up a projector to display stars on the canvas he had hung outside. He wanted Mia to feel like they were truly under the stars, even if they were miles apart. The next few days were filled with excitement and preparation. Jake worked hard to transform his backyard into a cozy camping area. He set up a tent, hung the lights, and prepared snacks, marshmallows, hot dogs, and popcorn. He even borrowed a small projector from his neighbor to show a movie under the stars. As he worked, he couldn't help but feel hopeful. This was more than just a virtual camping trip. It was a way to show Mia that their friendship mattered, and that he was willing to put in the effort to keep their connection alive. He wanted her to know that even though they were apart, he was still there for her. Finally, the day of the camping trip arrived. Jake spent the entire afternoon finishing his setup. As the sun began to set, he lit the lanterns and turned on the projector. The backyard transformed into a magical space, twinkling with lights and the promise of adventure. He took a moment to admire his work, feeling proud and excited. When it was time for the video call, Jake felt his heart race with anticipation. He set up his laptop in front of the tent, ensuring everything was perfect. As he waited for Mia to join, he couldn't help but smile. He was ready for this new adventure. The moment Mia's face appeared on the screen, Jake's heart soared. "Wow, Jake! This looks amazing," she exclaimed, her eyes wide with wonder as she took in the colorful lights and cozy setup. "I wanted it to feel special," he replied, grinning. "I thought we could have a camping experience together, even if it's online." Mia laughed, her joy contagious. "You did such a great job. I can't believe how beautiful it is. I wish I could be there in person." "Me too," Jake said, feeling the warmth of their connection. "But we can still have fun. Let's roast some marshmallows and tell stories like we used to." They spent the evening chatting, laughing, and sharing stories around the virtual campfire. Jake showed Mia how to roast marshmallows while Jake couldn't believe how quickly the days had flown by since his virtual camping trip with Mia. They had spent so much time talking, sharing their lives, and planning new adventures together. Yet, even with all that connection, Jake still felt a sense of distance. He wanted to see Mia in person, to laugh and explore together like they used to. But with her living so far away, it felt like a dream that was out of reach. One chilly afternoon, as Jake sat by the fire in his cabin, he thought about how special their friendship was. He flipped through the scrapbook he had made for Mia, a collection of memories that always brought a smile to his face. But staring at the pages, he felt a pang of sadness. The memories were wonderful, but they were also just that, memories. He wanted to create new ones, not just reminisce about the past. He picked up his phone and opened their online journal, reading through all their shared stories and updates. It felt good to see how much they had both grown, but he still yearned for more. He wanted to do something special for Mia, something that would show her how much she meant to him, and remind her that their friendship was still alive and vibrant. Then an idea struck him. What if he planned a surprise visit to see her? He knew it would take some effort and careful planning, but the thought filled him with excitement. He could travel to her new town, surprise her, and together they could create new memories. The more he thought about it, the more determined he became. Jake grabbed a notebook and started jotting down his plans. He would need to save some money for the trip, figure out when Mia would be free, and how to keep it a secret until the last moment. The thought of seeing her face light up with surprise made his heart race. He couldn't wait to make it happen. Over the next few weeks, Jake worked hard. He picked up extra shifts at his job, saved every penny, and carefully planned every detail of the trip. He even reached out to Mia's mom to ask about her schedule, hoping to find a weekend when Mia would be free. He wanted everything to be perfect. As the days passed, he felt a mix of excitement and nerves. What if Mia didn't react the way he hoped? What if she had changed too much or didn't want to see him? Those doubts crept in, but Jake pushed them aside. He remembered how much they meant to each other and how their friendship had survived the distance. He had to believe it would be worth it. Finally, the day of his trip arrived. Jake packed a small bag with clothes, snacks, and the scrapbook he had made for her. He felt butterflies in his stomach as he drove toward her town, excitement bubbling inside him. He couldn't wait to see Mia again. As he pulled into the town, memories flooded back. He recognized the streets they used to walk together, the park where they played, and the coffee shop where they shared countless laughs. Every corner held a story, a reminder of their friendship. He parked his car and took a deep breath, feeling both nervous and exhilarated. Jake checked his phone one last time, making sure Mia was still at home. He had coordinated with her mom, who promised to keep the surprise a secret. With a determined smile, he headed toward Mia's house, his heart racing with anticipation. When he arrived, he stood outside for a moment, gathering his courage. He could hear laughter coming from inside. It sounded so familiar, and it made him smile. He took a deep breath and knocked on the door. A moment later, Mia's mom opened the door, her eyes widening in surprise. "Jake, you're here," she exclaimed, a big smile on her face. "Come in." Jake stepped inside, his heart pounding. He could hear Mia's laughter echoing from the other room, and it filled him with joy. "Is she close?" he asked, trying to contain his excitement. "Just in the living room." "Let me get her," her mom replied, moving quickly to call Mia. Jake stood there, heart racing as he waited. And then the moment arrived. Mia walked into the room, her eyes brightening when she saw her mom, and then shifting to Jake. For a moment, she looked confused, and then her expression changed to pure shock. "Jake?" she gasped, her mouth falling open. "What are you doing here?" He couldn't help but grin. "Surprise! I came to visit you." Mia's face lit up with joy as she rushed toward him, wrapping her arms around him tightly. "I can't believe this. I missed you so much," she exclaimed, holding him close. Jake felt a wave of relief and happiness wash over him. He hugged her back, feeling as if he had crossed a great distance. "I missed you too, Mia. I wanted to see you and create new memories together." As they pulled away, Mia's eyes sparkled with excitement. "What do you want to do first?" "We have so much catching up to do." Over the next few days, they explored the town together, just like old times. They visited their favorite spots, went for long walks, and even had a movie night like they used to. Each moment felt special, filled with laughter and joy. Jake felt grateful for the chance to reconnect with Mia in person. One evening, they sat outside under the stars, just like they had during their virtual camping trip. Jake pulled out the scrapbook he had brought with him. "I wanted to share this with you in person," he said, handing it to her. Mia opened it, flipping through the pages with awe. "This is incredible, Jake. I love all these memories. Thank you for putting this together." As they reminisced, Jake felt a sense of fulfillment. He realized that their friendship had not only survived the distance, but had grown stronger through their efforts to stay connected. Their shared experiences, both past and present, had created an unbreakable bond. "Jake, I'm so glad you came," Mia said, looking at him with sincerity. "I feel like our friendship is more alive than ever. I don't want us to drift apart." "Again, me neither," Jake replied, feeling a surge of hope. "I think we can make this work. No matter how far apart we are, we can always find ways to connect." As they sat together under the stars, Jake felt a deep sense of gratitude. He had faced his fears, taken a leap of faith, and it had brought him closer to Mia than he ever thought possible. Their friendship was a beautiful reminder that distance could never diminish the bond they shared. With a smile, Jake looked up at the stars and whispered, "Thank you for guiding me to this moment. I'll cherish our friendship forever." He felt hopeful about the future, knowing that they could face any distance together, one adventure at a time. The days turned into weeks, and Jake couldn't believe how wonderful it felt to reconnect. With Mia, their time together had brought back all the laughter and joy he had missed since she moved away. But as much as he enjoyed their reunion, he also felt a twinge of sadness. He realized that their time together was limited. Mia would soon return to her busy life, and he worried about drifting apart again. One evening, as they sat by the fire in Jake's cabin, he watched Mia roast marshmallows, her face lit by the warm glow. He felt a sense of peace, but deep down, the fear of losing that connection again gnawed at him. What could he do to keep their friendship strong, even after she went home? "Mia," he said suddenly, breaking the comfortable silence. "Can we talk about something?" She looked up, her eyes curious. "Of course. What's on your mind?" "I've been thinking a lot about how we can stay close after you go back home." "I don't want to lose what we've built," Jake admitted, his voice serious. Mia paused, her marshmallow halfway to her mouth. "I've been thinking the same thing. I love being with you, and I don't want to just go back to texting and video calls. It feels different in person, much more real." Jake nodded, feeling a sense of relief. "Exactly. I want to create new memories, not just hold on to the old ones." Mia smiled. "What if we planned regular trips to visit each other? We could take turns. I could come here during breaks, and you could visit me, too." Jake's heart raced with excitement at the idea. "That sounds perfect. We could explore new places together, and we can keep adding to our scrapbook." He gestured toward the colorful pages filled with their past adventures. "Definitely," Mia laughed. "And we can start a new project together. Maybe we can create a friendship bucket list of things we want to do." "I love that idea," Jake replied, feeling inspired. "We can list all the adventures we want to have, and we can check them off as we go. It will give us something to look forward to." They spent the rest of the evening brainstorming ideas for their bucket list. They wrote down everything from hiking to nearby mountains, to visiting amusement parks, and even trying out new recipes together over video calls. With each idea, Jake felt more hopeful. They were building a future filled with possibilities. No matter the distance dot, as the fire crackled softly, Jake realized something important. Their friendship had grown stronger, not just because of the memories they shared, but because of the effort they were both willing to put in. He remembered Lyra and Syrah, the alien sisters who had taught him about connection and kindness. Just like their friendship had blossomed despite the odds, so could his and Mia's. The next day, they continued to work on their friendship bucket list, excitedly discussing their dreams and plans. Jake felt a renewed sense of purpose. He wanted to make sure that their bond remained strong, no matter the miles between them. As the days passed, their time together flew by. They visited all their favorite spots, took countless photos, and made new memories. Each moment felt precious, and Jake soaked it all in, wanting to remember every detail. On the last evening of Mia's visit, Jake took her to their favorite lookout point. The sun was setting, casting a warm golden light over the landscape. They sat together in silence, watching the sky.